Some days I'm unstoppable. I wake up at 6 a.m., crush my workout in the garage, and stay focused all day. Other days, I can't even get out of bed. I skip the workout, feel anxious all day, and end up doom scrolling at night. For months, I tracked everything trying to figure out why. And when I finally found the answer, my consistency went from 3 out of the 7 days to nearly every single day. And it turns out I was looking at the wrong thing entirely. Here's what was happening. I was trying to build all these habits, working out 5 days a week, eating better, being more productive, and I was tracking everything. But I was only hitting my goals maybe 3 out of 7 days. The other four, total failure. Some days I had energy and focus. Other days I felt like I was dragging a weight behind me. And it was so random I started to think maybe I wasn't wired for this and maybe I didn't have what it takes. The worst part, my biggest struggle was at night. After I got my little girl down for bed, I'd have a few hours to knock out some chores and have some quiet time. And I'd always tell myself, okay, I'll get this done, maybe read a little bit and get to bed at a decent time. But instead, I just ended up on my phone. Just one more productivity video, one more article about habits, or one more YouTube short about getting your life together. And I'd convince myself that I was being productive because I was learning something. Next thing I know, it's midnight and my alarm's set for 6 a.m. And I think, okay, 6 hours of sleep, that's fine. I can push through. Spoiler, I couldn't push through. Then one day, I actually sat down and looked at the data. I compared my habit tracker to how much sleep I was actually getting, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Every single day I hit my habits, I had gotten 8 to 9 hours of sleep the night before. And every single day I failed, it was 6 hours or less. See, I'm supposed to work out at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday in my garage. I've got my home gym set up, so there's like no excuse because there's no commute. But some days my alarm would go off and I'd just choose to go back to sleep. And it wasn't because I was doing anything fun the night before. I was just caught in that loop of consuming content, watching one more video, telling myself that I was learning. And that's when I realized having a consistent bedtime wasn't just another habit, it was the foundation for everything else. When I got 8 to 9 hours of sleep, everything clicked. I'd wake up before my alarm, actually wanting to get out of bed to work out. And I'd stay focused all day and make much better decisions without fighting against myself. But on 6 hours, I was sluggish, anxious, irritable, and when that alarm went off, my brain would immediately start negotiating. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Just 20 more minutes, or you can skip today. You'll do it tomorrow. Every small decision felt impossible. I was white knuckling my way through the day. So here's the principle. Sleep is not just another habit on your list. It's the foundational habit that makes all your other habits possible. You can't discipline your way out of sleep deprivation. You can't motivate your way through it. You can't hack it. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're not fighting a willpower problem. You're fighting biology. And biology always wins. The habit that kills all your other habits? Going to bed too late. Inconsistent sleep. Running on 6 hours when your body needs 8. And here's why this matters, because understanding this changed everything for me. When you're sleep deprived, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that makes decisions and resists impulses, starts shutting down. Research shows that sleep deprived people have depleted mental resources for self-control. You're literally running on fumes, which means you're more likely to give in to distractions, make poor choices, and skip the habits you're trying to build. Your brain has a fuel tank for self-control that gets used up throughout the day. And sleep is what refills it. Without enough sleep, you're trying to run on empty. That's why I couldn't stop scrolling at night, even though I knew I'd regret it. My self-control was already gone. And that's why I couldn't drag myself out of bed the next morning. The tank was still empty because I never refilled it. Here's the other piece. Your body runs on a circadian rhythm. Your cortisol naturally spikes at the same time each morning. That's your internal alarm clock. But this only works when you're consistent. When you go to bed at different times every night, you're fighting against your own biology. So here's exactly what I changed. First, I set a consistent bedtime. For me, that's 10 p.m. Same time every night, even on the weekends. And here's why that matters. Your body gets on a schedule. Your cortisol naturally spikes at the same time each morning. That's your internal alarm clock. And when you keep a consistent schedule, you start waking up naturally. No more fighting with yourself to get out of bed. Leading up to that bedtime, I have a simple nighttime routine. I shower, brush my teeth, and let my dog out one last time. Same 3 things, same order, every night. This signals to my brain that it's time to start winding down. I also avoid blue light for the last couple hours before bed. I'll either wear my blue light blocking glasses or I'll have night shift mode turned on my phone automatically for the last 2 hours before bed. Then around 9:30, 30 minutes before my bedtime, I'm already in bed. Not thinking about getting ready for bed, already there. This buffer gives my brain time to shut down. And here's the key. When I set my alarm, my phone goes across the room, not on my nightstand, across the room. Because if it's within reach, I'm gonna pick it up and start scrolling. I also keep my room cool. If I feel like I'm too hot, I'll put a fan next to my bed, and this makes a huge difference in how fast I actually fall asleep. Here's the thing about consistency. It's not about being perfect. I'm not saying you'll never miss a day or never hit snooze again, but when you give yourself the foundation of good sleep, you're setting yourself up to actually follow through. And every time you do what you said you do, even on the small things like getting to bed on time, you build self-respect. You start to trust yourself. And that momentum, that's what carries you through the hard days. All right, here's what you should do tonight. The first step is to pick a bedtime and actually write it down to make it real. And try to stick to it. If you can't stick to it, then move it back 15 to 30 minutes each week and let your body adjust. The next step is to create a simple nighttime routine. 3 things, same order every night. Step 3 is to avoid blue light in the last couple hours before bed. And step 4 is to be in bed 30 minutes before your target time. Not getting ready for bed, but actually in bed. The next step is to put your phone across the room when you set your alarm. This is a non-negotiable. And step 6 is to track this like any other habit, because this is the most important habit. Everything else flows from this. Look, I wasted months thinking I had a discipline problem. Months trying to force myself to be more motivated, more consistent, more disciplined. I was beating myself up for not being able to stick to my habits when the whole time I was just fighting against biology. Here's the truth. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're not lacking willpower. You might just be exhausted. And once I fixed my sleep, everything I'd been struggling with started to work. Not because I became a different person, but because I finally gave my brain what it needed to function. If you're stuck right now, if you keep starting over, if you feel like you're capable of more but can't figure out why nothing's sticking, start here. Because everything else you're trying to build depends on this foundation. I hope this video was helpful. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button because it helps with the algorithm. Keep learning, keep growing, keep going, and I'll see you in the next video.